Scattered showers for some of us today across East Central Illinois, but the main event hasn't gotten here yet. A line of storms is forming to the west of Illinois. We'll have the full details on what you could expect coming up.
Thanks, Ben. Also tonight, Illinois lawmakers consider a ban on cell phones in school. What the bill could mean for students also coming up.
Plus, the competition for the coolest thing made in Illinois this year has come to an end. We'll show you the winner. This is Newswatch, and your Wednesday night's edition starts now.
The Charleston House proudly supports Newswatch. Now welcoming guests on Charleston's historic 6th Street, the Charleston House Bed and Breakfast Inn offers refined accommodations in a beautifully restored bed and breakfast. For booking information, visit craigcollection.com or call the number on screen.
TCI Realty, Charleston area's real estate connection, commercial, land and farm, and residential real estate. Experienced realtors with an up-to-date website at tcirealty.net. TCI Realty supports the students of WEIU Newswatch.
Rain and thunder are unfortunately making their way back into our forecasts. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Olivia Bennett.
And I'm Matt Williamson. For more on those showers and storms, we're checking in with local forecaster Ben Whitney. Good evening, Ben.
Good evening, Matt and Olivia. You guys said it. Spring storm season is in full swing here in central Illinois. We haven't seen any of those storms on the stronger side with this cell that came through this afternoon. Some of these storms, as we get later on throughout the evening, could start to become more thunderstorm-like. But the main line of storms we're tracking is off towards the west in Iowa and Missouri. A tornado warning in southern Iowa at this hour, and a lot of warnings around Kansas City. What we expect on the severe side of this could all depend on the timing that this line of storms arrives. We'll have the full details on that coming up. But again, a few spotty showers for us across the area today. We're expecting even more rainfall throughout the nighttime. But again, we will have the full details on when the storms will arrive and the types of severe storm damage we could expect coming up in just a few moments.
Thanks, Ben. We're learning more about the identity of a former employee at a Decatur public school district accused of having a sexual relationship with a minor. The Decatur Police Department says 20-year-old Nicole Boos is charged with misdemeanor criminal sexual abuse of a minor with an age gap of less than 5 years. In October 2025, the department says they received reports Boos had an inappropriate relationship with a 16-year-old boy who was not a student within the school district. It says she was also not an employee with the district at the time. They say officers began an investigation, but that investigation was dropped due to a lack of evidence. However, Decatur police say they reopened the case this March and arrested Boos yesterday afternoon. Boos appeared in court today and was denied pretrial release. Also in Indiana, police say a missing teen is safe and a Terre Haute man is behind bars following an arrest for alleged sex crimes. An investigation led Terre Haute police to a home in northern Vigo County, and there authorities say they encountered 30-year-old Travis Bale, who initially provided a false name. A search of the home led to the safe recovery of the teen, and Bale is charged with 2 counts of sexual misconduct with a minor, drug possession, theft, and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. One man is in jail after a deadly shooting Sunday. Yesterday, we told you that Vigo County, Indiana authorities were investigating the death of 38-year-old Victor Lee. His body was found in a body of water in the western part of the county. Now, our partner station WTHI is reporting authorities have arrested 42-year-old Christopher Dixie as a part of that investigation. They say he's charged with murder and obstruction of justice. Sheriff Derek Fell says deputies found Dixie at a home on Elm and View Avenues and took him to the Vigo County Jail.
A Crawford County business is closing its doors, putting dozens of residents out of work. According to our official documents filed Friday, that business is Dana Incorporated plant in Robinson. Documents show layoffs are scheduled to begin June 15th. Crawford County Development Association Executive Director Risa Shaner says the plant is scheduled to close October 1st and a total of 85 workers will be released. However, she says agencies at different levels in both the community and state are already working on ways to offer aid to people affected by the layoffs. The agenda includes a $13 million contract as part of the planned renovation of Thomas Hall, which closed in 2024. The Eastern Illinois University Board of Trustees will consider several campus improvements and rate increases at its Thursday meeting. Trustees will also consider approving over $438,000 for parking lot maintenance and an amount to be determined for structural repairs to the MLK Junior Union building. Now, in the same meeting, board members will consider several rate increases for fiscal year 2027. These include housing rate increases and tuition increases for incoming undergraduate and graduate students. The leader of the Catholic Church in Central Illinois is responding to controversial social media posts from President Trump. In a statement released yesterday, Springfield Bishop Thomas John Poprocki said that he was dismayed by a post from the president in which Trump called Pope Leo XIV, quote, weak on crime and terrible on foreign policy. The president's post came in response to statements from the Pope criticizing the war in Iran and calling for more humane treatment of immigrants. Poprocki also condemned an AI-generated image shared by the president that showed Trump as Jesus healing a man. The bishop called that image blasphemous, and the president has since taken it down, saying he thought the image showed him as a doctor.
Illinois lawmakers are once again considering a statewide cell phone ban in schools. A new bill before the Illinois House would carry out a bell-to-bell ban in elementary and middle schools, while high school students would still be able to use those cell phones during breaks and lunch. Lawmakers say this will increase student engagement and address youth mental health concerns. Capital News Illinois reports if the bill is passed, policies would then be implemented by the 2027-2028 school year. Illinois is one of the 8 states without a restriction on cell phones in schools currently. Pain at the pump continues for Illinois residents. Price tracking website GasBuddy.com reports fuel prices at Illinois gas stations rose nearly 10 cents per gallon in the last week alone. The average price sits at $4.36 per gallon for regular unleaded. Statewide, prices are 67.7 cents per gallon higher than a month ago and 97.4 cents higher year over year. Nationally, the average price per gallon is $4.07. Time is almost up to file your taxes, so get on it. Most federal and state income tax returns are due today. The IRS estimates more than 50 million Americans benefited from at least one of the deductions Congress approved last year. Experts advise filing electronically for last-minute submissions, and taxpayers who can't make the deadline can request an automatic 6-month extension. Even with an extension, filers still need to pay what they owe, even if it's an estimate.
Healthcare costs are going up again for Illinois state workers. Capital News Illinois reports Illinois will spend about $360 million more on state employee health insurance next year. That's a 9% increase, bringing total costs to around $4.6 billion. Officials say costs keep rising because there are more state workers and general inflation. The system now covers around 470,000 people. Since 2018, the average cost per person has increased nearly 46%. Workers will also pay more, with monthly premiums rising $8 for employees and $4 for dependents. Well, what is the coolest thing in Illinois? Well, after an announcement from Governor Pritzker today, now we know. Pritzker released the winner of the Illinois Manufacturers Association's annual Makers Madness competition this afternoon. According to IMA, Illinoisans voted in a bracket-style tournament showing off a variety of products from energy storing equipment to pantry items. Previous winners include Peoria, Decatur, and Rockford. But this year's winner.
So without further ado, it's my great pleasure to announce the 2026 Makers Madness champion. The coolest thing made in Illinois is, drum roll please, yep. Can you do the drum roll? Yeah, there you go, thank you very much. All right, folks, the NASA Standard Initiator Chemring Energetic Devices. Please join us on stage.
IMA says the NASA Standard Initiator, created by Chemring Energetic Devices, is an electrically activated pyrotechnic device that helps with vehicle staging, satellite separation, and spacecraft maneuvering. Chemring Energetic Devices is an aerospace engineering and manufacturing group based in Downers Grove. Officials say the device is currently being used on the Artemis II Orion mission. Well, Illinois students competed for scholarships in a statewide finance challenge. The Illinois Personal Finance Challenge, hosted by the Illinois State Treasurer's Office, provided a competition for students to showcase their knowledge in income, spending, saving, and investing. Now, yesterday, students from Monticello High School took 4th place in the Illinois State Finals, giving them the opportunity to be awarded college saving scholarships. Winners move up to the national finals at the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta, Georgia, from May 31st and June 1st this year. Well, some of us saw showers today, but could we see more?
Well, you know what? Ben Whitney is back with a closer look at the Skywatch forecast. Ben?
We'll be expecting a round of showers and some potential severe thunderstorms overnight tonight, but that's not the only chance we have. More showers Friday evening and into the weekend. That's going to be brought along by a cold front, bringing much cooler temperatures into your weekend. We'll have the full details on that and some severe weather coming up right after this.
What is going on? Watch a fisherman realize he's smack dab in the middle of a huge shark feeding frenzy. Oh my gosh! Pro surfer Brett Barley was fishing for tuna and drumfish on a jet ski off the North Carolina coast when he accidentally snagged, then lost a shark. Mere moments later, he realized he was surrounded by countless sharks engaged in a frantic feeding frenzy. Oh my word! Barley says he believed the sharks, which were feeding on baitfish, were spinner sharks, and added if you see some of them above the surface, there are probably far more below. So Barley says he stayed calm and slowly maneuvered his craft away from the fray. Another frenzy of shark-related activity, but this one is from U.S. wildlife officials and, frankly, is kind of a bummer. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service say last fall, agents intercepted illegal shipments of some 50,000 dried shark fins at U.S. multiple ports. The shipments, seized in Alaska, Ohio, and Kentucky, were disguised as car parts and were in transit from Mexico to Hong Kong. The service says the sting was part of a global effort to combat illegal wildlife trade and say the seized shark fins were valued at more than $1 million. Finally, more than $1 million is what experts say this Picasso painting is worth, but one lucky Parisian just bought it for about $117. You heard that right. The Picasso work Tête de Femme was the centerpiece of a raffle called One Picasso for €100, with 120,000 tickets sold for €100 each, with proceeds benefiting Alzheimer's research. A lucky winner was drawn, which ended up being a software salesperson from France who will now be the proud owner of a genuine Picasso for about the price of a dinner in Paris. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Ross.
Good evening. We're tracking a line of severe thunderstorms that's making its way towards central Illinois over the next few hours. Currently, this line of storms is situated along central Iowa and northern Missouri. Plenty of severe thunderstorm warnings in northern Missouri right now, largely clustered just to the northeast of around Kansas City. We did have a tornado warning just take place in northern Illinois. Much of the severe risk for this storm moving through is going to be in northwestern Illinois near the Quad Cities and just around that vicinity. Now, for us here in east central Illinois, we could see some potential severe weather chances, but it's all dependent on when this line of storms gets to our area. 75 degrees for our high today in Charleston. We were back up into the 80s in places such as Robinson, but many of us didn't quite crack the 80-degree mark. 75 degrees our coldest spot in Decatur, Taylorville, and us here in Charleston. We're still under those mostly cloudy skies right now for the most part. Those clouds are starting to make their way in, and a few scattered showers down towards Effingham and in Robinson at this hour. Overnight tonight, we'll see those temperatures staying on the milder side, 61 degrees for our overnight low. We do have those isolated storms moving through, some of which could be potentially severe. The strong winds will continue coming from the southwest, close to 40 miles an hour for some of us tonight, but more consistently coming in around 15 to 20 miles an hour. That's going to cause temperatures to stay pretty stagnant throughout the day part tomorrow, but notice these winds are starting to weaken a little bit as we move throughout the daytime on Thursday. That's also paired with clearer skies as we get towards tomorrow evening as well. So temperatures more or less around where we were today, 77 degrees for our high. We'll see warmer temperatures for Friday, but that's all preceding a cool down as we get towards the back half of the weekend. Again, right now, Futurecast, some of our southern communities could see a few more spare showers and a potential thunderstorm as we anticipate this line of storms to get here. Now, the later we see this line of storms get here, the less likely it'll be for us to see any severe effects with this. But around midnight tonight is when we expect the first cells of this line to make its way across our area towards 1 a.m., mainly clustered around the north central portions of our viewing area, especially around Tuscola, Champaign, on its way towards Danville. Most of this will be out of our picture by the time we get towards Thursday morning. Again, those clouds will start to clear up as we get throughout our daytime on Thursday and into Friday, where we anticipate our next chance for some showers. Now, severe outlooks, we are under a slight risk for that severe potential across a lot of our area. Some of our far southeastern communities and counties only under a marginal risk. But again, that's all dependent on the timing of when this line gets here. The later we get, sure, some of these storms could be on the strong to severe side, but less likely so as we get towards those early morning hours. Any severe effects will mainly be limited to some damaging wind gusts close to 60 miles an hour and potentially in hail over an inch in diameter. Not expecting a lot of a tornadic activity risk with this system moving through, but it is going to bring a fair amount of rainfall, around 0.8 of an inch in rain in Charleston, closer to an inch in Danville, and some local amounts could be above an inch. But the rain main system, especially for our northern communities, is going to be, as we get towards Friday night, a slight risk for the far west of our area, including portions of Macon and Christian counties. That's going to boost these rain totals over 1.5 inches in Danville and just over 1 inch for us here in Charleston. Now for our 7-day out forecast, again, temperatures warming into Friday back to 83 degrees to end our work week, but that line of showers is going to come alongside a cold front back to the mid-50s for our high on Sunday. But those temperatures will start to warm right back up again. We'll be back towards the mid-70s by next Wednesday. So we do have a little bit of a cool off, but again, we'll be tracking these storms as they move in overnight tonight.
I was going to say, we appreciate you always checking on that for us, Ben Whitney, keeping us safe.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Ben Whitney, the #1 forecaster. We love Ben Whitney.
We do.
Thanks, Ben. Tonight in sports, Charleston High School baseball looks to get its first Apollo Conference win of the year.
Plus, it's Jackie Robinson Day in the MLB, and the Cardinals play a game that goes down to the very last inning. Thanks for watching. Your WEIU Sports Watch report is coming up next.
It's hard to know the exact number of pickleball players, but an estimated 24.3 million people in the U.S. took to the courts in 2025. That's a participation growth of 479% since 2020. Dr. Trishul Kapoor with Cleveland Clinic says pickleball provides a number of physical and mental health benefits, but with any sport, injuries are bound to happen. Kapoor says he commonly sees players with shoulder joint and rotator cuff injuries, wrist injuries, muscle strains, and ligament sprains in the knees and ankles. He says preventing injuries starts with preparing your body before playing pickleball. Kapoor says it's also important to have proper equipment that includes appropriate shoes with cushioning and good grip to prevent slips and falls, having the right paddle for your body and hand size to lower risk of wrist injuries, and avoid tight or confining clothes that can impact how your body moves. Finally, he says to focus on posture and your technique, and if you get hurt, see a doctor. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
We begin tonight with high school baseball as the Charleston Trojans look to get their first Apollo Conference win of the year, this one against the Taylorville Tornadoes. The Trojans dominate, winning this game 10-0. Alex Matheny pitched 6 shutout innings with 6 strikeouts. Matheny also had an impressive day at the plate, notching 3 hits and 1 RBI. As for Matt Toon, they were also in action last night, but lost 16-1 against Muhammad Seymour. We now move to softball as Eastern Illinois will have to wait one more day before taking on the Billikens. The game between the EIU Panthers and St. Louis Billikens has been pushed back tomorrow at 4 due to weather. The Panthers are coming off a series loss against SEMO and will be back at home this weekend against Tennessee Tech. On the sand, an Eastern Illinois beach volleyball duo is being honored by the OVC for the second time ever. Yes, Tori Mahesky and Eleni's Neves are being honored as the Ohio Valley Conference Pair of the Week, which is the first time for the Panthers since Natalie Mitchum and Mason Navarro in 2024. Mahesky and Neves won a perfect 4-0 over the weekend at the Austin Peay tournament and carried the Panthers to 2 wins. Their perfect performance is the best record over a weekend in EIU beach volleyball history. Mahesky, Neves, and the rest of the Panthers are back in action this weekend for OVC weekend at Moorhead State. Back on the dirt, Lake Glen baseball and softball have been playing lights out recently. Can they add on to their win streaks? Well, softball sure can, as Lakeland sweeps Lincoln Trail College in both games of their doubleheader, winning the first game 9-1 and the second 6-4. LLC is now 32-10 on the season, 25-3 in conference play, and has won, get this, 23 of its last 24 games. Now for the Lakers baseball team, they followed foot and also gathered a midweek win. Theirs came against Southwestern Illinois, winning 7-5. Lakeland now has a 4-game win streak with a 13-7 record in conference play. Both teams will be in action tomorrow. Baseball will play Olney Central on the road at 3, while softball will also be on the road, but for a doubleheader at Kaskaskia College. Moving to the MLB, it's a historic day. It's Jackie Robinson Day. 79 years ago to the day, Jackie Robinson made his major league debut, becoming the first person of color to play in the MLB. Every year on April 15th, MLB honors Jackie Robinson with each player wearing the number 42, the same number he wore during his MLB career. The St. Louis Cardinals won on extras last night. Can they win again as they take on the Guardians? The Guardians strike first with Kyle Manzardo getting the bloop to the outfield to score the first run of the game. But the Redbirds answer right back with Pedro Pajes hitting a ball that goes just past the shortstop, and this one is tied. And they don't stop there, as if the base is loaded, Alec Burleson sneaks this one up the middle and scores 2, making it 4-1 after 6. Cleveland will get 2 runs, but last night's hero, Nathan Church, gets a double to bring home the 5th run for the Cardinals. That would be enough for the victory, as the Redbirds now move to 10-8 on the year and will travel to Houston to take on the Astros Friday at 7. As for the Chicago Cubs, they were in action last night for Game 2 against the Phillies and are in desperate need of a win. In the bottom of the second, the Phillies have 2 runners on, and Edmundo Sosa cleans up shop, sending this 442 rocket to center field. Now in the 5th, the Cubbies score a handful, and it's Alex Bregman who drives this one up the gut. Dansby Swanson scores, and we're all tied up. It's Nico Horner who sneaks the ball right past the pitcher, driving in 2 runs, and Chicago is up 5-3. Bregman tacks on 2 more, but hold up, Carson Kelly didn't come here to mess around, posting his first home run of the season. That further drives the nail into the coffin, and the Northsiders win this one 10-4. The Cubs begin their 3rd and final game of the series against the Phillies just a few minutes ago, with Shota Imanaga on the mound against Jesus Luzardo. Finally tonight, if you're in the mood for some kickin' or chicken, you're in luck. On May 7th at Giessen Memorial Stadium in Champaign, students who have already purchased their 2026 football season ticket will get 1 attempt at a 40-yard field goal. Now get this, any kicker who makes that field goal will get the cost of their student ticket reimbursed. Now that's the kickin', but what about the chicken? The first 3,000 kickers, make or miss, will get a free coupon for Chick-fil-A. I think I could probably make that 40-yard field goal. Matt Olivia, you think you got it?
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely. Anything for a chicken sandwich.
I'd hope so.
Well, still to come tonight, Ben Whitney returns with a final check of our Skywatch forecast.
But first, if you hated digging out your car during this winter snow, be glad that you are not the city of Somerville, Massachusetts. We'll explain in tonight's parting story. Thanks for watching. This is Newswatch on WEIU.
But Project Hail Mary was filmed for IMAX, and it's coming back. The space adventure starring Ryan Gosling is returning to IMAX theaters for 1 week beginning Friday. Check IMAX.com for locations and showtimes. Artemis 2 to the Moon and Back follows the crew of the first lunar mission in more than half a century, from their preparations to their 695,000-mile journey and safe return. The special premieres Thursday on Discovery Channel. Adria Arjona reportedly has been cast in the Superman sequel. According to Variety and The Hollywood Reporter, the Andor and Splitsville actress has been cast in Superman, Man of Tomorrow. Earlier reports said Arjona was up for the coveted role of Maxima. Warner Brothers has not confirmed her casting. Superman, Man of Tomorrow is due in theaters July 9, 2027. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Finally tonight, it may be warm in our area, but in other parts of the country, those big piles of dirty snow are still melting away. In Somerville, Massachusetts, one melting snow pile is revealing city vehicles that were buried over the winter. Now, at least one car was smashed under the weight of all that snow and ice, and that's drawn curious visitors. City leaders say they buried the vehicles on purpose. Now, that's because these vehicles were set for the scrapyard, and rather than wasting manpower moving them to make way for the snow, they just dumped the snow on top. Well, Ben Whitney, I'm assuming we have no snow in our forecast tonight, right, buddy?
Absolutely no snow in our forecast, Matt, but we have our own type of weather to worry about tonight. Potentially severe thunderstorms rolling through. We'll stay in the 60s for our overnight period. Again, most of us under a slight risk for severe weather, but that risk does start to diminish as we get towards the early morning hours into Thursday, when we expect these storms to be making their way into our area. We'll continue to warm back up towards the 80s for Friday, but another chance for showers. We'll see temperatures dropping off, but eventually warming back up towards the mid-70s.
Right, so story of the day is if you don't already have one, go out and buy a poncho.
Oh, you guys know I can't get my hair wet.
No.
Can't
have it.
Too much hair for that.
We can't have that.
Come on now. Well, anyway, thank you, Ben, and thank you for joining us. For more news and weather, be sure to log on to our website at WEIU.net.
There you'll find real-time forecasts and the news video of the day.
And if news is happening in your community, let us know by dropping us an email at news@weiu.net.
Have a great night.
The Charleston House proudly supports Newswatch. Now welcoming guests on Charleston's historic 6th Street, the Charleston House Bed and Breakfast Inn offers refined accommodations in a beautifully restored bed and breakfast. For booking information, visit craigcollection.com or call the number on screen.
TCI Realty, Charleston area's real estate connection. Commercial, land and farm, and residential real estate. Experienced realtors with an up-to-date website at tcirealty.net. TCI Realty supports the students of WEIU Newswatch.